So I'm going to talk to you guys about what to do in a down market and how to keep yourself from being a victim of the down markets, bankruptcies, and all that other stuff. I'm just doing a reset on my truck right now, so I thought I'd make a quick video on this. Got some other jobs coming up tomorrow, Sunday. Yeah, Sunday. I got to work on Sunday, but that's all right. Sometimes, guys, sometimes I make more in 5 days or in one day than a lot of guys are making in a whole week. So I don't mind working a Sunday every once in a while. So it's no big deal. And that's all I got to do is, 4 or 5 days a month, and I'm still saving money. I'm not spending everything I make. So anyway, let's talk a little bit about what happens in the down market. In fact, I want to tell you guys real quick. In 2008, 2009, when the worst economy in the United States was going on, I made more money than I made in the previous 5 years. So that kind of gives you an idea. I had guys that were high-end custom painters that I know that all they did was high-end customs that were out of work. There's no work going on in that kind of market. Sometimes even that market gets affected. If you think you're protected by being in that market, you really need to understand that you are not going to be protected. They were working for me, and I told them, look, dude, why don't you come help me out, man? I was like, I can hire anybody, but why don't I just pay you $500 a day? And they're like, what? $500 a day? I'm like, yeah, no big deal. So that kind of gives you an idea of the kind of money that I have coming in when things are going good. If I can pay out, that kind of money, then, obviously I'm making quite a bit more than that. And so it would help my buddies out, and stuff like that. And I could have just hired anybody. I could have went out and got guys for $100 a day that would have probably done what they did, but there's just times when you just have to do what's right for your fellow man. So anyway, and they were good, and I already knew what they knew how to do, and I didn't have to go out and try and figure it out and fire them and go through guys and all that. I'd rather just give a guy who I know who's good, what I already know what they know how to do, what they don't know how to do, and give them good money. So that's the way I'd rather do things. So that's why I'm not rich. I would be very, very rich if I wanted to be. But anyway, what I was going to say is, in a down market, what you need to know is, number one, is you need to be focused. You need to be focused right now. So why I'm making this video now is when things are going pretty good right now, and things are going really good. And when things are going really good, it's not long before they're going to be going really bad. So the time to start putting your energy into doing something different is when things are rolling, because you need to get those contacts, you need to get that information, you need to get those the property managers, you need to be starting to get in with those guys, and it takes time to do. It might take you 2 years to get things rolling with them. But what you need to focus on is, number one, always, if you're doing track work — I don't do track work, guys. I don't do any of that at all. I just don't, because it requires a completely different, you have to have a completely different setup. You have to have guys on that are you have to have like a full setup of piecework going on. So guys that can pay it patch base, and you can tell them, like, man, I'll give you $150, you patch the whole house out and you're done. You can do 2 of those a day and whatever. You have to have it all set up, and it's just, and the insurance for that and everything, it's really sketchy, and you end up getting sued because the builder gets sued and they sue everybody. And I just, no, I'm not going to do that crap. There's money in it, but I wouldn't do it. But anyway, what you need to get into doing semi-customs are houses where they're, upper house, they're not track homes. Maybe they are, but they're in a really nice neighborhood, and Typically they have a larger lot than the others, and they have everything pretty manicured and pretty nice. High-end custom is pretty much, the guys with the, everything's cased. All the doors are big old wide casings around everything. They got, all the baseboards are, 6 inches or taller, maybe 12 inches bases in some of the houses. And, there's cased around all the windows, and the crown molding all over the place, and the cabinets look like some kind of museum. These are high-end custom homes. I try and steer away from most of the time because I'm not going to make as much money in those houses. If I get into the semi-custom, which is the bigger homes, but they're not crazy in repaints, those markets usually, even the high-end, sometimes don't drop off quite as much, but they still do. So if you're only doing that type of work, and you're not diversified, and I'm going to tell you the key to making it in a down market is being diversified, is having a lot of different things that you can do. So if you see that the market in this is dropped off, that you can jump into another market and still make money. So the stuff I'm teaching you guys is how to do this in a diversified, be diversified. It's the stuff they say, oh, all you do is cheap houses. No, I do anything. I can paint anything at any level, with next to anybody. I don't care who they are. I have customers that are so wealthy I cannot do a video at their house. I can't do the guy owns like, $100 million company. I'm not going to do a video at his house. My God, what do you think? You mean you guys would think, that's crazy. No. You're going to go to movie star's house and go, hey, man, if I just do a video of you in the house, inside your house, they're just looking at you like, you're fired. Come on. So it's, the key is to be diversified into a lot of things. That's one. Another thing is do things that are renewable. So if you're doing work, like things that still happen is if you're doing commercial work, you can get into doing reset painting, where they're doing they reset the stores, like say grocery stores, they'll reset the whole store, put all new shelving in and all that. They'll paint the whole inside when they do that. And if you can get the general contractor who's doing those to hire you on, you'll be driving all over the place. You'll be like in different cities every day, but you'll still be working and you'll be making good money. You won't be, having to go out and compete against some guy that wants to work for $75 a day, because that's what happens. The other thing you can do is, one of the things that I do is I work in the rebrand painting, which is signs and stuff like that. It's, if you think you're going to get into that market, it's not easy. It's really, 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 really extremely hard to get into, and you have to have a lot of capital, and you have to have a lot of, and you have to have be willing to wait, 60, 90 days to get paid, and that requires a lot of capital, and you have to have a lot of really, really good experience with a lot of things like color match, and so some guys that are in it and they're not very good at it, and I just bury them, so it doesn't take long, but that's the type of thing that I've got into. And then you can get into doing things like nursing homes, where they have to paint every so often. Maintenance painting, where you get property managers that you work your way into those property managers. You got to find property managers who manage a lot of commercial property, and you get in with those guys and you start doing their work. And then when the economy goes bad, you're already in. The other guys have to get in, but you're going to have insurance. You're going to have your liability insurance. You got workers' comp insurance. You have to have all that stuff. You have to have everything in line. You have to to be able to stay in that. And you're not going to be able to just jump from doing houses to go in there. You have to start working on this stuff now. When the economy's good, you got to start working on it, and then you'll be immune to the downturn market. I mean, it still gets a little bit tough. I mean, things like happen where association painting, you do that sort of thing, they'll defer the maintenance. They'll defer it a little bit. So you're going to have a little bit more time. You're going to have to wait between jobs and stuff like that. So, you know, remember, it's the repaints that are not going to stop as fast. The new construction, that all drops off. I don't care if it's commercial, residential, it doesn't matter. If it's new construction, you're going to be out of work. So if you're doing repaints, so you started working on your repaints now and you get your repaints rolling, that's where the work is. But you might have repaints in high-end custom, you might have repaints in the semi-customs, you might have repaints in production, you might have repaints in foreclosures, and you have to be ready to do whatever comes up. Whatever is the hot market, you've got to be in it. So if you're not diversified, you're really in your skills, you're really putting yourself in a position of vulnerability. So all I can say is, listen, start now. Start trying things a little bit different. Start trying to get a few of the houses or whatever in different markets, so that when the market goes, you're ready. You're ready. Oh, well, the only thing going on right now is like, I remember I had a bunch of stuff where I needed to keep capital coming in, and in the bad economy. In 2007, one of my buddies calls me up and he says, or I was at the paint store and I ran into him. I said, "Hey, what's going on?" He says, "Man," he says, "oh, we're trying to do these rehab, to sell." And he says, "Man, it's real competitive." I'm like, "Well, so what's going on?" So we had a meeting and talked about it, and he's like, "Well, it's got to be done for these prices." And he says, "I don't have enough capital to buy the washers and dryers or not washer and dryer, but the appliances inside the house," because he was a general contractor, but also a painting contractor. And I said, "Listen," I said, "what do you need?" And he goes, "Well, I need, need all these, I need some more appliances." I mean, so I put together financing for him, and we started doing those. So it's, do I like doing that kind of work? Do I like going into a house that's full of garbage and crap, and the carpet smells, and all the appliances are missing? No, I don't like doing that kind of thing. But it paid the bills for a little while, and it just kept the capital rolling in, because when my other stuff hits, I have to have a lot of working capital to get through the job, to get through a 60, 90-day payment, and you've got hundreds of thousands of dollars of work coming in. You have to have that money coming in. You have to have that capital there all the time. So it enabled that capital to be there. So what I'm saying is, guys, is learn, don't keep all your eggs in one basket. Don't think that you're safe because you do high-end customs. You're not safe. My buddies who were high-end custom guys were working for me in 2008, 2009. That's just the bottom line. Talk to you in the next video. Please like, share, and subscribe.